performance yesterday was all too predictable, and it creates a situation now which is extremely gloomy and just sort of fraught with pessimism going into a massive game tomorrow against Man United. I say massive, I don't think there's any Newcastle fan out there that is expecting to get anything out of it, so if they do, it'd be a monumental bonus.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think if they get even a point against Man United, and I'm afraid I can't say it, if they get a point against Man United, then that's got, you're celebrating that like you've won a trophy, which is really sad, because that shows how far Newcastle have fell behind in the years. I mean, obviously, I was around the season ticket holder when we nearly won the league in '96, 12 points clear. That still hurts me to this day, but going down would probably hurt me a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think the club and the people in charge now have managed to disguise the fact that relegation would be absolutely catastrophic. The future of the club would be uncertain in terms of direction, budget, etc. And yet it's something that now we've just got to stare full in the face and accept is a very all too realistic prospect, because performances like yesterday's have just become the norm rather than the exception. I mean, there was just so little to sort of grab in terms of straws of comfort yesterday, wasn't it?
There was nothing there really. I mean, maybe you can look at Bassong again, another good solid performance. An aerial bombardment which he came out on top of. Take away the goal. It was probably a decent defensive display, but it's just not enough when the other side of the team aren't pulling the weight. Yes, they created chances, but were the sort of the guys providing the bullets for the ones up front?
Yeah.
Were they on the same wavelength? I would say probably no. I thought Martin's, yes, he's still a little bit rusty, but even if you're a natural born goal scorer, then surely you score the header at the back post. I mean, it was pretty woeful, to be honest, and it's something that they need to look at. Mark Viduka on the bench. We know he's got loads of ability. The cameras were on him when he was laughing and joking with a supporter. I mean, are some of these players as worried about this as we are? Are they aware of what the situation is in? Jeremy going on the pitch, I don't think Jeremy, he doesn't look like he can fight sleep, to be honest, and he goes on ahead of Alan Smith, and I think while 12 months ago people were probably delighted when Alan Smith was out of the team, I think a lot of people would probably appreciate him back in there now because of his battling qualities, and because Newcastle probably need him in the team. I mean, you've seen that day down at the training ground, you've seen how much he cares for the club. It's an awkward situation, but they need people like Alan Smith.
Absolutely, I mean, they need people with passion, and whatever else you think of Smith, he's got passion. The thing that really worried me yesterday was the games that Newcastle have got to get something out of now are exactly that type of game.
Yeah.
Bolton, for your Bolton, you can read Hull, you can read Portsmouth, you can read Stoke. Newcastle have got to get something out of those games, and that lack of creativity against such journeyman teams. All very well, we expect them to lose against your Man Uniteds. We expect them to maybe struggle against Arsenal. They might get something out of that game. Against clubs like that, you just expect them to get the ball, battle, try and basically rough teams up. But against teams like Hull, against teams like Stoke, against teams like Bolton, you just expect Newcastle, given the reputations they've got, to provide that little bit of quality, a little bit of nous, that little bit of creativity that's needed to break them down. And yesterday just wasn't there. So why should we be optimistic that it's going to be there in the other must-win games? That just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I mean, the Stoke game is a typical example. I mean, we've seen Stoke yesterday come back from 2-0 down at Villa. Would Newcastle do that in the same situation? I'm not sure they would.
No.
The prospect that people talk about Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea. I'm actually quite worried about going to take the Stoke City game on its own. I'm quite worried about going to Stoke because I think they're up for it more than Newcastle.
Exactly.
I think they're all rolling the same direction, and I think arguably 60% of the Newcastle United squad at the minute don't want to be there.
Exactly, and I think you can guarantee that Hull will be similar. They'll be pumped up. Yes, they're on a terrible run, but you can guarantee that that they are all in it together, because that's the sort of atmosphere that Phil Brown seems to have sort of created there. At Newcastle, you don't get that, and it's like, as you say, yesterday you see Viduka laughing and joking before he's going to go on the pitch, and you're thinking, this is a guy that's supposed to be chasing the game and saving it for us. It's just not on really. I think we hear the right things coming out of the club from Chris Hughton, etc., about the situation they're in to a certain extent, but the players have really got to prove that they themselves realise that the club is absolutely on the precipice, and if it goes off the edge, who knows where it'll be. I mean, it's just too frightening to even think about, but people have got to start waking up to that reality.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago we were talking about the teams that have gone down and not come up, your Leeds, your Charlton, Southampton, all them teams, they've gone down, and these days you simply don't bounce back up. it takes a couple of seasons maybe to get used to the Championship. That's if you stay in it, and some teams have dropped out of it. So serious games ahead, and I'm still, as we were after the Sunderland game, still seriously worried about the plight of Newcastle United.
I guess the sort of collective feeling on Tyneside ahead of tomorrow night is, well, yeah, anything would be a bonus, but you can't see anything, a reasonably convincing defeat, 2-3, maybe even 4-0. Just hope that United,
could be like
or Man United that is, have got some sort of reaction from the Carling Cup final, but somehow I doubt it.
Yeah.